we reached somewhere and we had to hurry up, sort of. So that time we were talking about, say, around 1960s. 1960s, what happened? The world was over. The old ships were still around, but slowly going down. And the main thing was the world population. For example, in 1960, India's population was 40 crores. Today it is 130 crores. Okay. So 40 crores means before that it was even less. So the requirements were low. There wasn't that much of cargo which needed. So normal general cargo ship in those days used to do everything. They had passenger cabins, they had cargo space, they had liquid cargo space on one ship. And they used to come, used to go quite easily and follow the schedule. Now ships used to get delayed and all right. No big issue. Lot of them were steam ships, but not steam turbine. They were different types of steam engines. So by the time people started using the fuel oil, when the coal went out and the fuel oils came in. So okay, there was a change, constantly changing environment. But what happened? The cargo parcel size. Parcel size means the minimum quantity required, like small quantities. That is, I will say parcel size was only 20 tons. Why? Because the requirement was 20 tons. Why will somebody buy 40 tons and 60 tons? So 20 tons. Since the population increase all over the world, because you realize one thing, those days in 60s, the machines had not taken over the world. So you needed people. And to rebuild after Second World War destruction, you needed people to do all the manual jobs. So population was increasing all over the world. Requirements increase, though you needed bigger size ships. So earlier you were carrying small quantities of, say, oil. Now you need more. So are you going to bring 10 ships? No. So somebody said, why don't we make ships bigger? And the specialization started. Like bulk cargo, let's make separate bulk carriers. We'll not send bulk cargo on cargo ship. Cargo ships used to carry a grain in bulk. I have loaded it myself. So it changed. No, now we'll have a separate ships to do this. So ships started changing and the size started increasing. So there is a big change from 1970. I will put down late 60s till today. Like in 1960, the cargo ship carried cargo of about 12,000 tons. Today, the big container ship carries general cargo at the size of 2 lakh tons. The ships have become huge, more efficient. A lot of things have happened. Now, what happened? Metallurgically, things were improving. The welding processes improved. The ships became bigger. Same time, engines improved because there was a issue how to make big engine. Metallurgical problems. They could not use that much of heat, so heat was released, and engine sizes were restricted. So slowly, steadily, things improved. In the beginning, there were problems with diesel engines. They could not make bigger size diesel engines. So the steam turbine came back. Then steam turbine has got its own problems, which you will study later on. So then they found better metallurgical research, and newer alloys and all came in, and the sizes of engines also increased drastically. Today you have got 100,000 bhp diesel engine. Diesel engine means internal combustion engines. Okay. So a lot of changes have taken place. Now, once upon a time, ship was a combination of navy and everything together. They had their own protective force, which has sort us come back with piracy. But they used to carry the cannons and all. You must have seen those sailing ship videos, yeah, movies. Passengers used to be there, and cargo also used to be there. Captain used to be owners of the ship, or sometimes owner used to be there. Captain was another one. Navigator was very important, and so on. Now, The changes have taken place. Now, when you go through this, today I have increased the size of cursor so that you can see better. When you see here, this is the explanation what I am giving you about how the things have changed. Today, the ships are 400 meters long, 60 meters wide. Okay, they already crossed 20,000 TU. When I wrote, it was around 19. Now they are 20,000. Okay. Now, what is a ship? Now, let us start to our basic thing. Okay. I told you it is a box that floats. Very nice. Because the generally a good area to carry any type of cargo will be a box shape. Why? Because it is easier to store things without losing the capacity. Like suppose if I have got circular things, if I put like this, there is a space lost in the middle, no, where the boxes fit perfectly. So that is the box shape area where you can store it nicely. That is always the middle part of the ship. Now what happens is you want to push it in the water. So we need an engine room with an engine. So we make an engine room which has to be astern because forward it doesn't work. It doesn't work well. It needs to be astern. So propeller is astern, engine has to be close by to propeller so that you don't waste space because otherwise propeller shaft will go now. So you will have to keep that area clear. So it is generally behind. Generally, okay, it will change with the designs. And it has to be below water, no? The propeller has to be below water, not on top of the water. Yes, you can have propulsion system which is on top, like small crafts use it, jet foils and all. Those ones use the top one, hovercrafts and all. They use the air. We use water. So it has to be down. Now it has to be below deck. Very nice. Engine has okay, some part of the engine will come above the water line, but it will be still below deck. So we put engine there. Now propeller is like a small area where you want to suck all the water, so you can push it behind and create a force, and then the Newton's third law will come in force, and ship will start moving. So its shape cannot be a box. It has to be some sort of it's very difficult to define a shape, but it will be like a tapering towards the stern. So you put it there, engine. So now I have got one box here, one part of ship behind, that is engine room with engine, and propeller is fixed there, rudder is fixed there. So it has to be behind because it is close by. That is the way we take it at this stage. So now ship shape has changed because I have got a box connected with end, the aft end of the ship. Now if I try to push it, there will be a lot of resistance in the front because it will be flat wall. You must have seen even these today modern trucks. See, they used to have an engine space like this, and the body used to be going up and all. So today you find some triangular thing made. That aerodynamic shape has been added to reduce the drag. Now here we also have got an issue. So what we do? Some smart guys came and said, let us put one more part on the ship in the front, which we can curve it so that we can reduce the resistance. And that is that hydrodynamics and all the shapes and all, to improve the efficiency so that the ship will glide smoothly in the water. So comes part number 3, which is the bow. Now, if we take a ship A, B, C, B is the box, A is the front part, and C is the engine room part. A and C have got very much different three-dimensional shape, and most of the part of the B is the box. Now, when they join, suddenly a box cannot join a curved part, right? Because end of the curved part is very narrow. So it tapers down. It tapers, and you will see a typical ship shape. A tapering one, then box comes, then again it tapers behind. That is how the ship shape will be there. So there is, we are saying now this is the bottom part. Front part I need something like this to cut through water. But can I keep it just like this, or do I flare it up like this opening? I need to open it up on top like this. Why? Because so that ship will not start dipping head in the bad weather and go below water. So it tapers off. Plus you get a working platform. Now what happens is, this is what we thought as a basic design. Very good. Now you are going to use it for cargo. So you want to carry maximum cargo. The maximum cargo means more money, more freight, more money. So you are given a proper shape. Now, as usual, the marketing guy is going to say, "Can you make more? Can you make more?" So again, the ship has got three-dimensional sides. The bottom will be narrower and the top will flare up. Not in the middle part. Part A and part C. That is where it sort of flares up. It's a very complex shape, but just get general idea. We try to increase cargo carrying capacity as much as possible, and underwater area we try to keep it as small as possible in volume. Narrow one because you want to slide through the water. So this is how a ship is basically designed. Now you are going to have people there, correct? So obviously, who is going to run engine, who is going to do navigation. So leave the deck fittings aside. You need to make a place for the people. Now what people need? Like you live in a building, right? Many of you live in a building societies and all. What is it like? Now we have seen hotels. What is hotel? Basically, people live there. They have got food there. They have got laundry arrangement. Everything is there, and they generally go out for work and all. But in this case, our job is on the ship. So you can say practically, I put a hotel on top of the ship for say 25%, 30%, whatever is the number of people I need. Now I provide them all the facilities. So I need to have some tanks carrying the fresh water, hot water systems, electricity, air conditioning, and so on. So everything is just like a hotel building, everything is put there, including gym and all. Okay, a lot of this we'll be touching up this later. So the accommodation area is basically a hotel block, and the topmost floor is given for navigation. Because what is navigation? You're monitoring the ship going from A to B. When you're monitoring, what is the danger involved? You're not supposed to go over a land or collide with somebody and have accidents. So how do you get better vision? You go on top, you see longer distance, right? So the topmost part, the topmost deck, which is used by people, is the topmost floor is navigation bridge, and then we keep on making smaller places wherever we need for storage or something. You need lots of stores and all. So that is our basic ship. Okay, we made the ship. We have got a box A, B, C. Front part hydrodynamic shape. Then some aerodynamic shaping is also there. Then we created cargo area supplemented with extra, and we have got part C, which houses all the machinery. All means most of it, and then some machinery is spread accordingly. And we have got people. So we put a hotel building there. Hotel building can be 4-story, 10-story, depends. Now this is how we have made our basic ship. Now what was the basic purpose of the ship? To carry cargo. Okay, we are not discussing pleasure yachts. Pleasure yachts is rich man wants to have his own hotel going around everywhere. So he creates a ship which sole purpose is to relax, enjoy. So all the things will be added up there. Like large number of ships also have swimming pools. So I mean merchant ships. Pleasure yachts and all will have a lot more than that. They will have helicopter landing pad and all because they just want to relax, parties. That's it. Okay. Now we come to the point, what is cargo? Cargo is commodity that is transported on a ship, like vehicles, like trucks carry cargo. Now the chassis is made in the factory. Like if we take, like, you can create a bus out of it, or you can create a truck out of it. Leave the engineering and finer parts away, the suspension and all. But you can create a bus, you can create a truck, whatever you want. Same way the ships are. Our box is made for cargo. You can carry anything you want there. According to your requirements, you will change the internal fittings. Okay. Now, what cargo can be? Actually, it's very easy definition and very difficult definition. Easy definition is anything that you need to carry. Now, interestingly, there was a case. Somebody bought, one American guy bought one castle in UK. They have got these old castles all over. छोटे वाले घर थे of local landlords, zamindars. So somebody bought it and he wanted it in USA. So what was done? Whole thing was mapped. It was stone by stone, it was removed. It was shipped to USA, to wherever that guy wanted, and it was reconstructed in USA. So you can say a whole thing can be moved. It just needs proper planning. Now, okay, let's take a standard examples. Mobile phones, computers, electronic goods. You know that most of them come from China anyway. Okay, they're transported in boxes, cases, loaded in containers and brought to India. Then it's distributed. Food grain can be in bags or can be in bulk. Now, when we say bulk, means it is loose. There is nothing holding it. Bag is the bag where you put it inside, weighed it, say it's 50 kilos bag. But loose is bulk. Like if you go to Baniya shop, you must have been sometime or the other, I'm quite sure. There are two types of things you get. You get packets of, say, grain, written 10 kilos, this, whatever it is. It is sealed and at the same time you will find there are containers where there is a loose one and you take it out and you weigh it in a bag, and so that loose one is bulk. Frozen goods, temperature controlled compartments or boxes, because if you are carrying frozen goods you need the cooling arrangement to carry it, because after all it's going to be with you for few days, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So you have to maintain the temperature. It's like carrying ice cream. How do you carry ice cream? You have to have something that is very cold and which holds the temperature. So it's like, we have species which are like refrigerators, much higher level capacity. Then liquids are there, edible oils and all. Again, it can be in packages, in bottles and cans and all, or it can be loose. Loose means, hey, utha ke dala. Liquid is a liquid. It's like in a tank you carry it. Cattle, yes, you do carry cattle, though the percentage is quite low today. But you have specialist ships which carry cattle. Cattle means basically it is for food requirement generally. And recently there was an import of cattle by, I think, one of the Gulf countries, Qatar or something, because they thought they were getting blackmailed by others. They were not giving them produce. So they just imported cows and they started their own stables. But a rare thing. Normally cattle will carried for beef. Goats are carried, variety of them. Goats, those are the main ones. The birds generally not carried because it is not feasible right now. It is easy to slaughter them, freeze them, and send as deep frozen cargo. So there is a lot of variety in this. That is like frozen goods, liquids can be edible oil. Now, once upon a time, cargo ships had small capacity. How much capacity of one tank? 150 tons. Palm oil carried. Very nice. 150 tons. Today, your requirements are so high that you have got a tanker carrying 50,000 tons of palm oil. So today it's bigger one. So that is carried in bulk. Then you have got cattle where you carry sheep and all. Now if you carry sheep or say cows and bulls and all, issue comes, how do you feed them? So you have to carry the feed. You have to carry that much of water. Then you need the specialist people who look after them. You don't tell me look after the cow. What do I know about cows? Nothing. So you got specialists, the cow herds and all of that. So the specialist guys, they come with cows or livestock. So you have to have accommodation for them, separate one. You have to provide them things for bathing water, hay, wo, khana, pina, everything. So it becomes a bigger thing. So there are few specialist ships. Cars and vehicle. What is cars and vehicles? Yes, car carriers carry cars, vehicles are carried. How do you transport them from one country to other country? Yes, once upon a time, 5 ही पीस मांगता था, 5 पीस उठा के शिप पे रखा लेके आया डिस्चार्ज. Today, you're talking 5,000 pieces. So you have specialist ships. Now what they do, the cars, what do they need? The requirement of cars is the parking place, no? I just go and park there and I go. Wherever the parking lot is carried, it's the same like parking lot buildings. The ships are like that. You just drive there, park it, put on the brake, leave the keys there, get out. Bring other car, park there, like that. It is done in a group. So they need parking place. That's all is their expectation from a ship. Give me parking place. And last one, which is you can say politically wrong definition, people as cargo, because it doesn't sound good politically. How can you call people as a cargo? They are human beings. They are got agreed. Here, what do we look at it? People are my cargo. I'm not going with a political definition. I'm just saying people are my cargo. I got responsibility for them. Now, what people expect from me? They expect a proper hotel arrangement, and or if it is just a ferry or something, then they expect a proper sitting arrangement. Combination of both, depending on what it is. So, I need a hotel arrangement there. So I create a hotel, floating hotel, and then I take the people. But they have got a requirement. Now, what happens is somebody gives me cargo and tell me take it there. Don't they give us responsibility? They also give us responsibility saying that, अरे ये उसको दे देना. I said yes. Then it's my responsibility to make sure I keep it in safe condition and deliver the way I receive it. Like you take this Amazon guys, they bring things for you, correct? Uh, do they have responsibility or no? They have. They get the parcel, they have to hold the parcel properly, stack it properly, and deliver it properly. Or else, what you will do? You put a claim, no? Exchange. I want to exchange. My product was damaged, packing was damaged, so on. There is a most of you have been through this Amazon stuff, Amazon or whatever Flipkart, whichever way. Okay, Abdullah, chicken. What are you saying? Chicken for what? खाने पीने को? Huh? Is it for eating or is it for cargo? Speak up. He doesn't want to tell me what it is. Unless he was talking to his mom asking him, आज lunch को क्या है? Okay. Now, this part we have been through. What about people who are selling? That is what I told you. They have got everything to make it like a proper hotel. Now we come to the one part. Okay, that is the propeller. See, otherwise our ship is what we saw part A, B, C. It is all watertight. Correct? That was our original definition. Must be have watertight arrangement. Body. Now when you take out the propeller, the first problem starts. You have to have an arrangement to ensure the water doesn't leak in. So there are arrangements engineering wise, and we connect the propeller and the engine is inside and separated, and the water doesn't leak in the engine room either. Similarly, there is a rudder which hangs from top, so it also has got arrangement that the water doesn't come inside the ship. Now, this is what we are talking. Now, we will come to this part. Okay, this is something I try to make to have, like, mind mapping and all. You all know different methods, use them whichever way you like. So, cadet Dozo, who is sleeping or always feels sleepy in the class, he is asking what is the ship. What captain is telling him, must be strong to withstand storms at sea. Ship has to be strong to withstand storm. There is no point in saying storm aaya dub gaya. We can't be having stories of Sindbad the Sailor. Okay, tell me, how many of you have heard about Sindbad the Sailor stories?
Not heard, sir.
Not heard? Sindbad the Sailor?
I have heard.
Never?
I have heard, sir.
Heard, na?
From the Arabian Nights.
Yes, Arabian Nights. How many of you have heard Arabian Nights?
I have read it.
Huh?
Yes, sir, I have read it.
You read, no? Yeah, because they were quite fascinating stories and interesting ones, And actually, there are even Chinese have got some very nice stories for children. The Arabian Nights, yes, Sindbad Jahaji is same. Sindbad the Sailor in English, or Sindbad. He used to do a lot of stuff, okay? He was even, in a sense, all his adventures were there, and his ships used to sink regularly. So our ships are not like that. Okay, that is first part. Next one is what needs trained professional to operate, because after all you have got engine with a high power which has to run. You need skilled people. You need to do navigation. You have to go from A to B in safe condition. Then you have to look after the cargo. So you need specialist professionals. See, you can't be running it with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. You need to have proper ones. Now, somebody said it once, okay, a big shot guy. He says, if you have got a ship, how can you have a captain at $100 salary? It's a fact. If suppose you have got a car worth 2 crore rupees and you want to have a driver, are you going to pick up the same guy? अरे चल 10,000 रुपया पगार देता है? Definitely not. You need a qualified person or highly trained professional. That is what happens. So you need to train professionals there. Then ship is made. Now what is it? It is to be economically designed to carry maximum cargo. Like we saw the first principle of trying to keep ship light so that you can carry maximum cargo. Because finally the weight of the ship plus what is carried on the ship, the total must match what is allowed. Otherwise ship will sink. So to maximize cargo, your ship's weight should be minimum. And there should not be wastages. Then it must have means to move over the water. Means it has to have some sort of a propulsion system. Ship must have a propulsion system so that ship can move on water. Propulsion system can be, again, can be engine with the propeller. It can be a sailing. You have put sails and you move it. Now, what is the disadvantage of sails? Main one is you can't guarantee arrival departure timings. Why? It depends on the wind. If you don't get wind, ship doesn't move. So the scheduling is not there. And of course, the sizes of the ships are such today, probably it will not be practical unless you use it only as a supplementary mean to reduce the fuel consumption, the carbon deposits and all. Then must have accommodation spaces, cargo storage spaces. Obviously, accommodation is required because we have got trained professionals. You want to carry cargo, so cargo spaces must be there. Otherwise, how will you carry cargo? Then it must have reserved buoyancy to tackle accidental damages. Now, when ships are designed, we also assume accident होएगा तो क्या करेंगे? Ships, it should be strong. fine. But will it sink because एक hole हो गया? No. We keep that much of reserved capacity in hand, by which if there is a hole and water comes in, doesn't mean the ship is going to sink. Yes, she will sink little more in the water, but she will still stay afloat. That is the idea of this reserve buoyancy. Ship is also mode of transportation over the water. It is a mode of transportation like what you have got on the road. Trucks, cars, buses, they are mode of transportation. Same way, ship is a mode of transportation. Important, ship is made up of steel. Made up of steel because that is the material we find the most convenient, that is as of today. In future, in your lifetime, probably you may come out with a synthetic material which is much lighter and carry much more cargo. Possible. And it's stronger than steel and it's easy to handle. So this is how it is. You can make ship out of anything. You can make out of plastic also. But we make our ships with steel because that is most convenient commercially. And must have a watertight body because otherwise water will leak inside and there will be problem. And the most important thing, it must float on water. Correct? Otherwise the whole thing will become a big joke. Now this video we will run. Okay. This is a ship. He is just showing you ship. I want you to have a general idea how the ship is. Many of you have got, yes.
Sir, can you please explain the fourth point which you told about wind and all?
Wind means you are talking which one? Here. What I was
Yes,
talking.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
See, if you decide to move with sails, why? Because you got favorable wind. You can have sails of large size and all, and you can move like sailing ships are operating today also. But what happens is, up to small level, maybe say up to 500 tons, 1000 tons, you can manage with sails. Once the ship becomes like 1 lakh tons, 2 lakh tons, the power in the wind can't be converted to that degree to move it at required speed. Because in the end, there is a delivery point also, na? How many days delivery? So the wind is not sufficient for large sizes. So that is where somewhere the other methods take over. Now what happens is there has been a lot of discussion on environmental damages done by fossil fuel. So suppose if I want to reduce it, like today we talk about carbon deposits and lot of stuff, okay? So in that case, what I will look for a system supplementary. So maybe 20% power I get by wind and 80% power by engine, and I will try to improve that 20% to 30% and decrease the fossil fuel. You got it now?
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
Okay. Now let us look at this ship. Okay, it will just give you general idea. Don't think too much, but this is the big size ship, so you will get idea about what is ship.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In this movie, I decided to show you the cargo ship, the bulk carrier, where we are for the moment. This is motor vessel Lady Charm, Cape-size bulk carrier, and I will try to make some excursion to show you the vessel.
This is where they are doing hold cleaning. Okay, hatch cover means they are cleaning the holds to carry cargo.
क्या किए थे हम लोग के लिए?
Going to dry docks now.
अरे आवाज तेज है इसकी, हमको लगा हम तेज धीरे बोल रहे हैं.
Navigation equipment. funnel. Radars. Compass.
This is not the Discovery Channel, this is not National Geographic. This is a movie about the ships, about the shipping, about the seamen, and this movie is made by seamen. Let's go to take a look. This is the forward part of the ship. The most important machinery of this part is the anchor gear. This is the anchor chain, which is using to hold our anchor. As you know, the anchor used to hold the vessel when the vessel is not berthed. Also, this is the place where situated the mooring equipment. Vessel has the 16 mooring ropes. Arrangement is made in order to moor the vessel to the wharf when the vessel stays at port. Now we are on the main deck. The main deck is the most wide space on the board of the cargo ship. Because Lady Charm is the cargo ship, it's intended to carry cargo. 90% of space is occupied cargo space. Our vessel is divided for 9 cargo compartments. Using these rails, the part of this hatch cover is moving aside, and then we have access to the cargo holds. For this kind of ships, frequent cargo is iron ore, coal, the concentrates, and that's it. That's it, because no more other cargoes are transported on our planet in such a big quantities. Sometimes if you want to walk from the forward to aft, it takes you for 3, 4, 5 minutes. If you have some urgent duty in one end of the ship and you should go to another end of the ship, so you should keep in mind that you need 3, 4, 5 minutes in order to pass from one end of the ship to another. In particular case, we have the cargo of coal, which this vessel brought from the South Africa, Richards Bay. And now we are discharging this cargo in the Vietnam using the floating crane, very low performance by the way, and it takes about 3 weeks to discharge. Even the half of the cargo, we need 3 weeks to discharge like this. This is the most frequently used device, machinery in order to discharge. It's called grab. Grabbing the cargo and then bringing it ashore. This is the accommodation, or how it's called sometimes the superstructure. This construction is actually the house of us, of the seamen, the place where we are living, where all the controls of the vessel are situated. This accommodation has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decks, or how it's called the shore floors. The living spaces of the crew are situated on these decks. The last deck is the bridge deck, from where we are making the command of the vessel, from where we are navigating, from where we are keeping the watch. Motor vessel Lady Charm is called motor vessel because it has a motor, and motor is obviously using the fuel. In our case, vessel is equipped with a diesel engine with the power something around 17,000 kilowatts. This is the bunkering manifold. We are using these pipes in order to refill the tanks of the ship with the new fuel. The bunkering ship, which is the small tanker, is coming to the side of the ship, and then we are using this crane in order to pick up the hose and bring this hose, make connection, and start pumping. This process is called bunkering because the fuel of the ship is called bunker. And bunkering is a very important process. It's very critical. This is a rescue boat. From this name we can see that it's designed for the rescue. The main purpose of this boat to pick up some person which falls overboard or sometimes used for some other rescue situations, designed for the 6 people, and it's lowered using this davit. By the way, this is quite dangerous, and according to statistics, big number of accidents during the lowering of the rescue boat. Sometimes we have 5 meters waves, and this boat is not reliable enough, so we should double check. And this is a free fall lifeboat. In order to send it to the sea, we are using free fall method. There are securing points here, and in cases when we need to send this boat to the sea, we are just using the hydraulic pump and releasing the jack, releasing the hook, and going to the sea. There are big disadvantages that crew experience very big stress when they are falling inside the boat, sufficient stress for your body. But the advantage is it is almost guaranteed that the boat will be able to be sent to the sea. It will be released. Chances for the surviving are increasing. Okay, this is the main deck inside of the accommodation. There are only the technical compartments here, and let's say here we have a laundry space. Here we have a fire control station, instruments in order to control the fire, extinguish to control the vessel in fire safety respects. This is the gymnasium in case if you want to play ping pong, or this is the changing rooms. Change rooms, the crew is changing here to the working overalls. Here, air conditioner room, another one changing room, entrance to the engine room. And now we are entering to the engine room. This is the engine room, the engine space, where installed all the ship's machinery. Here you can see this is the main engine, 3 diesel generator engines, boiler, incinerator, and many pumps, compressors, and other various machinery. The half of the crew is working in the engine space, and it's very critical and important place on board the ship. Now we are in the engine control room. This space is used to control all the machineries, all the equipment on board of the ship. This is the place from where the engineers are monitoring all the alarms, all the parameters of the machinery on board, electric system as well. As you can see, the system of this vessel is fully electronically controlled. How does it work? Hundreds of sensors are split in the engine, in the compressors, in the pipings, in the pumps, everywhere. And the parameters of this machinery are transmitted to the control room, from where we are also have instruments in order to control the machinery. Also, this main switchboard is controlling the electromechanical arrangement of the ship. This is the place where the engineers are spending their work time on board, day by day, many months. And also we will take a chance to take the brief interview. This is the oiler.
Oiler Jewel Cyclone.
What can you say about the work in the engine room?
The work of the engine crew is nice. It's okay. Sometimes it's very hard.
And also we took the chance to take interview of the chief engineer of this vessel.
I am Chief Engineer Alberto Dinsing of Mbili the Charm. It's okay.
Tell me, how many years did you spend in the sea?
About 15 years. I don't know, 18 years. My chief engineer, about 3.5 years as a chief engineer.
What is the most difficult in the job of the engineer?
Too much. Difficult, especially when troubleshooting. The engine is trouble. That is very difficult for us.
The loading of the vessel is the process when we are bringing cargo and distributing in the cargo holds, and same time we are removing the ballast from our ballast tanks. When we are loading our ship, we are putting the cargo here and pumping out the ballast from here. If we are discharging the ship, we are placing the ballast here and removing the cargo from the cargo hold. There is a special place on board of the ship. It's called Ballast and Cargo Control Room. This room is designed to monitor the discharging and loading operation. This console is designed in order to control the ballast system of the vessel. Here is the place where chief officer is looking how the vessel is discharged. As you see, it's very easy to monitor what is going on deck. Also, very important, the Lady Charm is 290 meters long. It's about 300 meters, quite long piece. But imagine the thickness of the metal of the hull is only 22 millimeters. 22 millimeters and 300 meters. It is very easy to break the vessel. In case if you will make the loading and discharging operation incorrectly, the vessel can be easily broken. In order to avoid the stress, we are using the special software. The special software which is intended to monitor the major stresses and stability of the ship. Shearing force and bending moment is the most important parameters for the loading and discharging of the vessel. Stability diagrams is the most important for the going to the sea. If the vessel is loaded incorrectly, sometimes it also can capsize, like this. The loading and discharging vessel is the very critical process. That's why the officer in charge for these duties is the most experienced and most qualified officer, is the chief officer. This is the chief officer of motor vessel Lady Charm.
Yes, sir. Hi. I am a chief officer of Lady Charm, Francisco Fucoy, sir.
Okay, very good,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
What do you think, what is the most difficult in chief officer's job?
The most difficult for the chief officer job, sir, is loading operation. Discharging operation is not so difficult, and we are just removing the cargo from the vessel to unload. But the loading operation, sir, that is most critical because especially we are pumping out ballast. Once we load Dampier, Australia, because they are very fast loading, sir. You cannot compensate with
Okay, I'm going to stop it here because we are only halfway through. Okay, we are only halfway through, so I'm stopping
Okay,
it
sir.
here and we'll continue in the next one. But did you like what you saw?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, a lot.
Yes, sir.
You're getting some
Yes, sir.
idea what is the size of the ship and how small we are.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
Yeah, idea is that once you realize, then things start making sense of what we are talking. Otherwise, the imagining thing becomes very difficult. These are like huge islands which are floating. Okay, now any other things what you want to ask for today? Hmm? I
No,
know,
sir.
it is your breakfast time now. So anything. Abdullah, you're from where? Which place?
From Bihar. I'm from Katihar, Bihar.
Okay, we have got another Abdullah. You're 1 year senior. That guy is also Abdullah, but his first name is Abdullah. Okay, now anything more?
Sir, there is.
Any questions before we call it a day?
I want to ask. Uh, do officers also have to tie and untie those thick ropes which were shown in the video?
See, officer is in charge. Okay, he has to know how to tie and untie, and depending on the situation, because the timings are very critical, the officers do help out in mooring stations. It is not like you just stand in one place, do it. No, we are involved, but depending on the situation. Normally what happens is today's ships, most of the ropes are on the drum, so it is not a big issue. You just use the hydraulic system to tighten it up and close the brakes. That is where an officer won't be required. But if you are going to make first rope or there is a critical thing that the timing is critical, yes, officer has to give hand. And that is what you do as a cadet. You learn all these jobs. You need not do it later on to that degree, whereas the crew is dedicated for this job. Got it?
Sir, what is ballast?
Ballast is the weight we carry in form of seawater, because you have to make ship heavier. Otherwise, propeller will not go down. You remember our idea that you saw that basketball, how it was floating.
Yes,
So
sir.
similarly, ship will start floating like that if you don't have weight. So to add some weight, the best method is you take the seawater and put it inside. That is called ballast. Otherwise, ballast meaning
Water
is
is used as
Sir,
ballast.
water is used as ballast. Ballast
so
means
sir, it has in
actually
connection with.
adding weight to the ship's bottom. And
Okay,
earlier
sir.
days, they used to have solid ballast. They used to carry rocks.
Sir, it has
And
any
how
relation
did
with
they
reserved
unload the
buoyancy.
rocks?
Huh?
How did they unload the rocks?
Sir,
They
Earlier.
smaller ones, they used to actually take it out. Those days, the one thing was picked up by laborers, coolies.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, now anything more?
sir, does it have to do something with the reserved buoyancy, these ballast tanks?
No, what is it? Something to do with?
Uh, reserved buoyancy.
No, reserve buoyancy is something that we don't touch. The ballast has got nothing to do with reserve buoyancy. You always have extra
Okay, sir.
capacity that is never used. That is reserve buoyancy. Means suppose if I have got 100%
Okay, sir.
capacity, usable will be only 70%. 30% will always remain as a reserve, which will never be used. That is
Okay, sir.
reserve buoyancy.
So,
Anything?
no,
Sir,
sir.
can you please explain the propeller part again?
Which part of the propeller means? What do you exactly want to know?